Hey, this is Liela from Roman Remains for Boxx Magazine.
All right, well, thanks for talking with us, Liela. So the last time we heard from you, you were, of course, a member of the Duke Spirit, still are.
Yes, still are.
But now you guys have moved from Britain to LA. You started this new band, Roman Remains. So
Yeah.
what was inspiring all the new changes?
Yeah, the idea is to sort of live between the two countries, the two cities. I think from brilliant amounts of touring with the Duke Spirit, we made some of the best friends I've ever known who live in Los Angeles, and I think there was always that temptation, whatever musical outfit I was in or whatever I was doing in my life, that I wanted to spend a bit more time there and actually have a bit of a stay, permanent, semi-permanent stay. So I was going to do that. I was kind of going to do that whatever I was doing, and even if it was Duke Spirit, we'd kind of meet in America or whatever. And then Toby, towards the end of whatever tour we lasted with Duke Spirit 18 months ago, 2 years ago, he was just working on headphones, working on things, creating little vignettes, soundscapes, and eventually sort of saying, "Oh, check this out." And I just thought, yeah, this would be cool to contribute to, and just something else to do. It wasn't really a plan to make an album. It wasn't really a plan. It wasn't a plan to make something commercial, to release it or anything really. Especially the way you feel on tour, you're so exhausted. And with Duke Spirit, we've had loads of great experiences, but we've always been kind of under the radar. There's no way that we've kind of made so much success and cash that we can just make another album like that. So this was very much like a hobby, like a little labour of love. And then through some enthusiastic friends, they were like, "Why don't you put it out?" So it was really serendipitous that I'm actually even touring this Roman Remains. Part of the reason it has a stupid title is it wasn't supposed to be for public consumption. It was more like, can we navigate our way through some other tones and almost make soundtracks and we're just messing around.
Yeah, so I know people will be wondering now to get confirmation that Duke Spirit is not breaking up. This is just
I mean, it's actually really nice that people would even care.
They're concerned.
I'm like, oh, you care? No, not at all. I mean, there's no reason to break it up. Luke, who's written a lot of the songs, and I started with Luke, he and I sort of took each other on the start of this journey. He's just had a baby, and so I think it was kind of me that was just like, why don't you take that time and I'll do something else? Because it just seems like a perfect break, and that evolution, we're all people and we're a little bit older than when we started, and people fall in love and move around the world. So it just seemed like a logical time to sort of have an adventure, or just go off on a tangent for a bit and then come back and say, oh, this is how this happened. Just to mix things up, really.
Yeah. So I know there's been a lot of references thrown around with this new style of music because it's much more electronic and industrial than your previous tracks.
Yeah.
Bjork, PJ Harvey, those sorts of bands. So I'm wondering if there was any of those bands that you were specifically listening to that you guys got inspired by?
Yeah, I mean, Toby has been, he's sort of been a real, he's just led me through kind of his journey. He was listening to Caribou, Soons, even like funny stuff like Major Lazer. He was just on an adventure of his own in his headphones. So he then was kind of playing me stuff, and I sort of followed that. He was really into the Knife album. And not to say that I wasn't, but he was the one, 2 years, 3 years ago, getting into all of that. And we've always been, sort of fans of Nine Inch Nails, or definitely Bjork. So, and Portishead, their first album was a really important record for me. So there's absolutely no way that these kinds of sounds and instruments were not part of my growing up. They were definitely part of my teenagehood, but they just, they weren't musical, characteristics that we decided to explore in the Duke Spirit. We just kind of didn't go that way, but nonetheless it's in there in my record collection. But Toby was definitely kind of fixating on I think I should have brought him up. he would wax lyrical on some more contemporary influences.